You can start by unwinding the yarn from the yarn feeder, and because all the needles are lifted, you can move the cylinder into any position that is comfortable for you to do the bind off. I usually like to put it over on this side because your hand needs to come from inside the cylinder, and I am right-handed. My working yarn is currently on this last needle before the main mark. I'm going to start then with the next needle to the right. And take my latch tool, I'm pulling the needle forward so that I can fit my latch tool down into both of the stitches on that needle. Then you lay the working yarn on the latch tool, let the latch close around it, pull it through, push forward so that the stitch falls below the latch, and do it again. Now, this is really important. I'm going to go with my latch tool behind the next needle. My working yarn stays in front of the needle, but my latch tool comes behind the next needle. And this is what's going to help provide good spacing so that it's even all the way around your hem. You now go into the next stitch. And you can see now I have 3 stitches on that needle. The one that came from the previous stitch, and then the 2 that I just went into. Make sure they're all below the latch. Get yarn, pull through, push forward. Right here is where I kind of cinch up the tension just a little bit. You don't want it to be either too tight or too loose. Lay it through, pull again. And again, you can keep moving the cylinder so that it's at an angle that's convenient for you. And you just do that all the way around until you get back to where you started. If you have an issue and you drop a stitch, it's no worries because all the stitches are safely captured on the needles. So you can undo this a couple of stitches and it isn't going to hurt anything. And then you can get a hold of your stitch. Again, get it picked back up and continue with your binding off. Here I am back around to the main mark. So I'm going to finish the stitches on the needle just before the main mark, and then I'm going to go again into the one for the main mark. The second time, pull through and then cut the end of the yarn. You just pull the rest of it out. Now you can push down all the needles. No need to worry about what the latches are doing at all. Grab hold of the bottom. Just crank it right off the machine. There is your latch tool bind off on the end of the cuff, on the inside of the cuff. So this is what it looks like when it comes off the machine. Here's the setup bonnet we just knit, and here is the one we started with our waste yarn and ravel cord. Our first step is to untie the setup bonnet and turn it inside out so that we can get to the ravel cord. And then I usually take the loom tool and I pull out the first few stitches with the ravel cord. Remember, we cross them over the first needle, and I don't want them to get stuck on each other as we're trying to pull them out. That's probably plenty. Then you can take either end, whichever one's longer, usually is the one I do, and I wrap it around my one hand. My other hand is inside, kind of helping brace the stitches, and you just pull. It just comes right out like that. And then you can separate the project from your waste yarn. There we go. To finish our cuff, we need to start by weaving in these tail ends. I have a darning needle here. And because this is a cuff, it's very easy just to go in the space in the middle. So you can see it's not going through the other side. Back out. Can trim that one off. And we'll do the same on the other side. Our final step is to thread the ribbon through the eyelet holes. So you can thread the ribbon into the eye of a darning needle, and then you're not actually going into the fabric at all, you're just going into the pocket. There you go, that's all there is to it. After you tie the bow, you'll have your finished setup bonnet with your split rings. And then remember, we hung the hem, cranked the body, marked to hang the last hem, created the eyelet holes, finally did the final hanging of the hem and latch tool bind off. I hope you had fun, and thank you so much for joining me. Happy cranking! Visit us at deanandbean.com and please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.